Okay, let's start it. Hey, hello there. Welcome to this, I guess, behind the scenes or making of this showreel of mine. So I want to do this video because I want to document what I've done with Deepfake Lab, the program that does the deepfake for me, and what I like to do with deepfake in general. In fact, the way that I'm recording this, I'm using Deepfake Live, and it's just such an exciting technology. This is outputting at like fucking 640 by 360 or some weird. Like if I turn, oh my god, that is so uncanny. I'm pretty sure if I turn like a little bit more, it will like completely fuck up. So the idea of making this messed up deepfake fakes of mine came around a year or two ago. I originally wanted to do like a parody VTuber where my avatar is just me with like a really messed up face. Kind of just think, what if I do this one idea but really fucked up? Like, you know, Jake Sully from the hit movie Avatar 2: The Way of Water? I don't know what the fuck I was thinking when I wrote this. So the idea first came in a form of kind of like a 3D scanning. There's a tool called Pi4HD, which I previously used for replacing Sean Murray's head. If you haven't seen my previous video essay on the subject, click there. Anyway, back to the 3D scanning idea. I don't know how to do 3D models, and I don't really know how to rig in particular, so I kind of just gave up on that idea. And then last year, after rewatching some old corridor videos, and I came up with this idea where I kind of just make a really shitty deepfake, which is basically what happened. So this year, I finally have some time to make a showreel. I did one where I just kind of throw a lot of clips together back in the day, and it was kind of dull. It's like a minute and a half of straight videos, and it wasn't really enjoyable to watch. So I kind of need something to go along with it. And no joke, I was sleeping on my bed and this idea just came all over me. So I climbed down from my bed and then just kind of wrote everything on my notebook, just one single whole page of stuff. I just wrote it all on my notebook. So after that, I know that I kind of want these videos to display right on my screen. It just kind of naturally came to me that I would want to edit the videos first and then film everything in real life and then put everything together at the end. And then I spent about 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes just filming myself rotating my head around, doing weird expressions for the deepfake to train on. And then I also did a test deepfake, and you can see the results right here, which is pretty cool. Like, it kind of covers the face, but at the same time it kind of obfuscates a little bit too much. Like there's not even a face anymore. I knew at that point that I kind of have to do a little bit more to get the best results in, but before that I have to film the actual shots. I particularly love this kind of authentic jank. I really like calling things crusty, particularly with the use of these practical screens, because when you see someone point the camera at the screen, you kind of automatically get this aesthetic of someone just doing this in their home and not in a Hollywood studio, which is basically what I'm doing now. So to match this aesthetic, I decided against using my 700D, I think it's called T5i in North America, and then I chose to film this entire thing on my ROG Phone 2. Ironically, is that my phone has better low light performance than my DSLR. There is one shot in particular I want to talk about, and it's the very first shot of the showreel, where the room goes from dark to having some light and then me just popping out from nowhere. It's basically one entire shot filmed with my phone here on a tripod, which is what I'm using right now. I first filmed the darkest environment, which is my room with very dim lights, and then I did the turning light on thing, that kind of flicker, and then I went in and turned on the screens, and then I set up the key light for me, and then I just went in and sat down and did the whole thing. So when I did the test deepfake shot when I move too quickly, or when my face kind of exit the camera too chaotically, my face kind of get messed up in the deepfake. And so I knew that I have to be more careful. There needs to be less movement, a lot less camera shake, and there should be like kind of a decent distance to the face. So I just kind of faced the camera directly whenever I can, like Cristiano Ronaldo drinking the choco wine. After filming the entire thing, I moved all the footage onto my PC here and started doing the deepfake, because it kind of takes a little bit of time, even though I'm aiming for really shitty deepfake. I asked beforehand on the deepfake subreddit about making like a half-baked deepfake, and the only response just told me that I want to stop at like 1.5K iterations or something. So again, with no catharsis and gaining no deeper knowledge of this method, I decided to just kind of wing it and download the Deepfake lab and just start doing it. The first time I tried to train a model, I ran into this out of memory error, and I think it's just because my PC with a 1070 is completely doo-doo. So I went to the Deepfake lab GitHub and I found a pre-trained model from a forum thread. Most of the pre-trained models are very horny. But eventually I found this general human face one that has like 1 million iterations, and this works basically as a foundation of my custom face to train on. And with that, I started training my first layer, which is my shitty face. I trained it using the pre-trained model with 12,500 iterations. And I think it's because of the pre-trained model, and the result is this staggeringly recognizable human face, albeit very blurry, which is actually the one that I'm using and the one that you're seeing right now. But at the same time, I feel like this face is a little bit too recognizable and not messed up enough, and I figured I kind of maybe need to do another iteration. So I trained another model using the pre-trained model once again, but this time I limited it to 10 iterations, only 10. Now, to be honest here, that looks kind of shitty, but that is only a foundation which we can build upon, because when you merge it into the final result, it has a wide range of options meant to conveniently and intelligently match the color and the shape of your diegetic face. And now we're gonna conveniently and intelligently exploit that. When you export a merge clip, Deepfake Lab exports the resource file and a grayscale mask video file. So I exported my 12.5K iteration in full mask mode for the entire result image frame, and then I exported it again in Learned PRD plus Learned DST mode for very wide coverage, and also I sharpened it to increase the jank. And for the 10 iteration one, it's still just a blob of colors, but I eventually found a combination of sharpening, color mode, and color transfer mode that makes the image look like this. So I exported 2 versions of this iteration and then the mask file. Now, after exporting the deepfake, there is still a matter of compositing it and putting it all back together, but it's actually pretty simple. For the first wide shot, since it was filmed on a tripod, everything just lines up perfectly. So I just put the darkest image at the bottom, put the light up image on top of that, set it to screen blending mode, and then put the screens on, and then I put myself into the image, masked up my face and body to make me, not transparent. And the deepfake face was just simple compositing in Premiere as well, because I already have the mask file. I can just put it on and then use a track matte to only show that part of the face. The 12.5K iteration was the first one I put on, and then I put one of the 10 iteration image on top. I luminosed it a little bit to get rid of some of the really dark areas, and then I increased the contrast and the saturation to make it pop a little more, and then I feathered the matte a little bit, and I set it to hard mix for some really hard colors. I made a duplicate of that layer and set that to exclusion for kind of like a whiteout effect, and for the other image I set it to color dodge mode to make the glitchy visuals really pop. And now it looks pretty good, but it feels like I was missing something, so I added posterize time to my 12.5K iteration layer, and now the face kind of lags behind the actual face hole. Really, it looks a lot more uncanny, but more importantly, more visibly janky, and looks like it's rendered instead of filmed. Oh, also look at this hand. I didn't actually plan to have this hand thing. I kind of just put my hand right onto the camera as I was moving the camera around. I needed a transition, and I just stumbled upon it. It was perfect, so I used it. Sometimes life just comes onto you like that. And after some color correction, everything just blends together. As for the voice, I recorded all the voices with my H4n right here on my bed with a blanket over me. But then I figured I would probably need another layer of voice to really complete this uncanny feeling. So I used this web 2 called Better Sam, which is a text-to-speech thing based on Commodore 64.
Welcome to my show, where you let me show you my work.
I used low pass and reverb to kind of muffle the whole voice.
Welcome to my show, where you let me show you my work.
As for my own voice, I also found this VST on the internet called Time Machine that can bit crush any kind of audio, so I just used it to really crush my bits.
Welcome to my showreel. Let me show you my work.
And after some time manipulation on the Sam voice file to match my voice,
welcome to my showreel. Let me show you my work.
Voila! Uncanny bit crush robot voice. And well, that's how the effect was done. It was actually surprisingly simple learning to use Deepfakes Lab. I basically just watched some online tutorials, and then within a day I was using it, and one night after I was using it for my video. And now with this deepfake shitty face, I'm probably going to start streaming like with Deepfakes Live on and try to see how long I can go, because I can finally fulfill my dream of being a VTuber but using my shitty real face. It's really great. It's gonna be a dream come true. And on that note, I think we finished it. If you want to try this out for yourself, just film yourself with your phone on a tripod and just kind of swerve your face around until you get like around 3 minutes of footage, and then just start training your own deepfake model. It's really not that difficult. But until then, I've been this really fucked up deepfake face, and I'll probably not see you next time, or I will, I don't really know.